the epistemology, which we say that epistemology came from the word Greek, from the Greek language. That is study of knowledge. Okay, then under the study of knowledge, we discussed about the sources of knowledge, concepts or content of knowledge, and the third one that we discussed.
All right.
About knowledge.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
We discussed that.
All right. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chiamaka, unmute yourself. Okika Chiamaka, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Okay, starting from study session 1, we'll talk about the nature and subject matter of physiology. Philosophy.
Yes.
Then you say that philosophy is gotten from a Greek word, which is philo and sophy, meaning love for wisdom. Then we also see physiology versus science. Then philosophy under science engages in critical understanding of the world, while under theology, it believes beyond sense and experience. That is, it has to do with faith. Then you also say that philosophy is all about critical thinking, as in critical inquiry into nature of how things are being done. That's in, they look deeper to find out why so things exist. So they go beyond. You also talk about different conception of philosophy, Socratic philosophy, which says that people are meant to live by an examples, and moral art and so forth. Then under contemplation, which says that the philosophers also believe in contemplation of knowledge. Then as analysis, they also believe on logic and clarification. Then as unity of theory, they also practice that to make this world a better place. Then after that, you went to branches of philosophy, which are epistemology, metaphysics, ethics, and logic. Then going to study session 2, which is epistemology. Epistemology is gotten from a Greek word, epistem, meaning search for knowledge. Should I continue?
Continue.
Okay, meaning search for knowledge. Then also divide it into 2. Epistem, which is knowledge, and then logic, which is science. So it's the study of science of knowledge. Then under it, we see sources of knowledge, which are empirism and rationalism. Then empirism has to do with sense experience, while rationalism has to do with reasoning. Then also have types of knowledge, which are analytic or a priori or synthetic or a posteriori.
A posteriori.
A posteriori. Then under analytic, you tell us that it has to do with established truth, pure truth. For example, you gave us an example that day that all spinsters are unmarried. Then 2 + 2 is equals to 4. Then under synthetic, you tell us that that knowledge has been established through a sense. Then he said, for example, that all the people in the class are JSS1 students. So you talk more of knowledge versus justified truths. That's what knowledge is believed to
I
be.
think you got that place, you got it mixed up. The a priori, if you recall, I said you can simply put it as before experience,
Okay.
prior experience. Those are things the knowledge you can
Okay.
acquire by reasoning. I hope you understand. So that is why we said 2
Yes.
plus 2 is 4. By simply reasoning it out, you can understand it. Then a posteriori, that is after experience. That means before you can gain such knowledge, you must have passed through the experience of such. Then I gave you a saying that said you learn best with experience. Once you experience something, then you would have known it. That is why we now make example of number of students in class. How do you know the number of students? Because you have used your senses to experience it. And when we talk about senses, we talk about your eyes, your hand, your all these senses in your body. You can use it to feel it in one way or the other. I hope you understand that part clearly now.
Yes, sir.
All right, quickly round it up so that we can
Okay.
proceed to today's.
The last part of it is theories of truth. Number one, we have corresponding theory of truth. In this one, that the statement relies on reality. That is not when it corresponds to reality. That is correspondence theory. Then we have a coherence theory. He said in that one that it has to cohere with the already established truth. Then the last part of it is the pragmatic theory. Now this theory has to do with affair of practical experience.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you all for your contributions, and especially the last person that just spoke. Thank you for your contribution. It shows that you were paying attention when we are having a discussion. So today we are going to be discussing study session 3, which is metaphysics. Somebody is raising up his or her hand. Okay, let me entertain you before we proceed. Ebere Okereke, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, when you were concluding the last lecture,
Yes.
we raised observation from the quiz that you gave to us, that 2 of the questions, the answers we gave were correct, but were marked incorrect. I don't know if you have sorted it out.
Yes, it has been sorted out. I observed that I did not actually choose the correct answer for those 2 questions. So that was what happened, and it has been corrected.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right. Does anybody have any other question before we proceed?
Yes, sir.
All right. Please go ahead.
So now that you've corrected it, are we now marked correctly?
It's supposed to mark you correctly automatically. So you shouldn't have a problem with that.
All right. That's very good.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Stephen Grace, do you have a question? Chiamaka, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question, sir.
Please go ahead and speak.
My question is for some of us, LMS is still showing 500 level.
500
now.
Level?
Hello, sir. Yes, sir. It has not been said. And about the quiz, up to now, we are not able to do it. So how about it?
Okay. I will discuss with the technical crew concerning those that are still having 500 level. Although the quiz is still open till further notice. The only
Okay.
thing that will make you not to
Okay.
be able to access it is when you have attempted the quiz already. You have two attempts.
No, I've not. Yes, I
So
didn't do it.
once you have exhausted those two attempts, you won't be able to access it again. But if you have not
Okay.
done it at all, the quiz is still very much available. So you will have access
Okay.
to it whenever your level is being changed.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, I'm still seeing about 3 hands here. Stephen Grace, you can unmute yourself
Jesus.
and speak. Deborah Bolanle, do you have a question? William Tange, do you have a question? Uzo, do you have a question?
Yes, sir.
All right, please go ahead and
Good
speak.
morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good afternoon, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So for me, I attempted the quiz twice and the problem was not rectified then. So what happened with me now, sir?
The problem has been rectified immediately after the class.
So I've attempted like twice before the other class. So I don't know what will happen now with
That
with
is
me.
what I said. Since the correction have been made, the system will automatically synchronize it. So you don't have to worry to disturb yourself. Yes.
Okay, and so now, can I be able to reattempt again? Since I've already done the attempt, I've attempted twice already before the problem was resolved.
You have no, that is what I'm saying. You have attempted it before the problem was resolved. That was why you are able to inform me that there is a problem. The problem has been corrected, and by default, the system will automatically correct it. I hope you understand. So you don't need to reattempt it before the correction is being made. Do you understand?
Okay.
All right. So you don't have a problem. It will be corrected automatically.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
We are having a lot of hands being raised presently. At this point, I would like to lower your hands. We'll proceed with the class. Then after the class, we can take more questions. I hope you understand me. Thank you so much. Now, on our discussion today, we are going to be discussing metaphysics. That's another branch of philosophy, which we highlighted in study session 1. If you recall, we said branches of philosophy involve epistemology, metaphysics, ethics, and logic. And presently, we have discussed epistemology. We are now moving to metaphysics. Now, in this study session, we are going to discuss what metaphysics actually, what it means, and the major school of thought in metaphysics. We are going to discuss it. After those discussions, then we'll move to some definitions as relating to metaphysics. And I'm going to give you a task where you are going to differentiate between epistemology and metaphysics. Don't worry, I just want to hear your opinion on these two. Then we'll provide a solution on it. And on that note, we are going to conclude our discussion for today. Now, if you consider the word metaphysics, if you recall, when we define philosophy, we said it was from a Greek word. We came to epistemology, we said it's from a Greek word. Same thing is applicable to metaphysics. It's also from a Greek word. And when we split that word into two, we are going to have meta and physics. Now, that physics in Greek word is referred to as physical. What is the meaning of these two words? Meta means after or beyond. Physical means physics or nature, simply put. So when we now combine these two words together, it means beyond physics, beyond physical, beyond nature. I hope you understand me now. Now, what now is the definition of metaphysics? Metaphysics is a branch of philosophy investigating the fundamental nature of things, of being. Let's put it that way. The fundamental nature of being and the world that encompasses, that's the nature, the physical. I hope you understand now. So a branch of philosophy that studied fundamental nature of being and the world that surrounds it. It studies you, it studies the world that surrounds us, it studies our environment, it studies what we are using every day, day in, day out. And they are concerned with two major basic questions. The first one is, what is there? What is out there? And if there is something out there, what does it look like? I hope you understand me now. What does it look like? Now, according to some philosophers like Aristotle, St. Thomas Aquinas, Richard Taylor, and some other philosophers, metaphysics is a branch of philosophy that is concerned with the question of ultimate constituents and origin of universe. Let me take you back a little bit. You know, when we are growing up, some people will say the heart is flat. Some will say the heart is round. In fact, those that have Yoruba origin, they will say that when Oduduwa was coming to the heart, they said there is a sand that was given to that Oduduwa, that the face of the world was covered with water, and Oduduwa now put that sand on the face of water, and chicken was used to scatter the sand, that it is that sand that now cover everywhere there is land now. And where the sand could not cover, we have water. That is some philosophy. I hope you understand now. In the Bible, it said everywhere was dark and God commanded. This is what metaphysics is trying to explain. It's trying to inquire into nature of being, into nature of environment, into what it is, that does these things actually exist? It's talking about reality in general. So every comprehensive account of experience of the world or the universe is informed by a theory of being or principle of reality, just like I explained to you now. So reality is central to all metaphysical inquiry. Reality is central to all metaphysical inquiry. So topics of metaphysics investigation, it include existence, objects, their properties, space and time, cause and effect, but that they believe for every action, there is something that caused that action. So cause and effect, possibility. Is it possible? Can this exist? Can that exist? I hope you understand now. So now there are so many school of thoughts as regarding metaphysics. One of them is idealism. Another one is realism or idealism, realism, pragmatism, and so many other ones. But on our own discussion, we'll be focusing majorly on these two schools of thoughts. That's idealism and materialism. Now, idealism and materialism, what are these schools of thought saying about metaphysics? What are they saying about existence of being, about inquiry into nature of being and its environment? Now, idealism, this theory, it comes from idea. They said what comes into existence by idea. So far you can think it, you can conceive it in your mind, it will come into existence. Now let's read this definition. This theory comes from idea. It states that idea, spirit or non-matter, provides the origin and the ultimate constituent of the universe. This means that physical external world that we see is a product of and depends on idea, since ideas are conceived in the mind. So they are saying that Lautech open and distance learning is an idea of somebody. Somebody think of it and it came into existence. Do you understand? And if you check it truly, yes, somebody actually sat and thought of, we can have open and distance learning, and now it is reality. I hope you understand. That is the perception of those that are idealists. Now let's go to the second one. Those are the materialism school of thoughts, the materialists. What is their own perspective? The materialists hold the position that matter is the basic substance of everything. That is, the ultimate constituent of the universe is matter. That the universe is made from matter. If you relate this to some of the philosophies I explained to you earlier, you will discover that this relates to those of the Yorubas, the one that said Oduduwa brought sand and chicken to spread this thing, that the heart is made from that sand that was spread. That is matter. Matter is anything that has space, that have with an occupied space. Are you following me? So it must be noted that the materialists, they do not deny the existence of spirits and gods. What they are saying is that the existence of entity like God, spirits, angels, mind, and so on, they must be explainable in material terms. In other words, why the idealists are saying that idea is primary, the materialists are saying what? Matter is primary. If you cannot explain these things through matter, we are not accepting it. That is what the materialists are saying. So also the idealists, if you cannot explain the idea, the basic concept behind this, we are not accepting it. So those are the two major schools of thought in how they are trying to explain their perspective in terms of metaphysics. Now let's go to the definition side. Now, the things that we will be defining are universal, particulars, substances, and qualities. These two will be explained in these four definitions will be explained in pairs. So I will explain universal and particulars. I will give you an example of it and how they relate together, and substances and quality and how they relate together. The first one is universal. Now, universal refers to concepts like humanity, beauty, justice, goodness. It is universal to all. What we share in common, that is what we call universal. Anything that we share in common. We share love in common. We share beauty in common. We share justice in common. When you see somebody that is coming from afar, you say, oh, wow, that person is beautiful. Especially boys that are seeing fine girls. They say, wow, see Charlie, or how do you people say it? So I hope you understand. Now, that is universal. When we are now talking about particular, there are individual things that exist in universe but are peculiar to somebody. For example, I can say a woman. It is peculiar to everybody. Is not a woman now, but both man and woman shared universal characteristics like beauty, justice, goodness, and so on and so forth. Let's come in terms of material now. We can talk a blue shirt, a red car. You know, those things are particular characteristics. So particular things come into being and they pass away. They pass away while universal remains or subsists. So for instance, particular men and women give an instant of humanity, but no particular man or woman is humanity in itself. So we also notice universal in particular objects or things that exhibit them. For instance, we recognize beauty in a particular beautiful things, justice in a particular just act. I hope you understand. Justice is universal, just act is particular. So now let's move to the other one, substances and qualities. Substances and qualities. So metaphysics raise questions concerning which of the substances and qualities actually represent the constituents of the universe. Substances are regarded as substratum, which is not open to sensory observation, but determines the nature of those which are open to senses. Now, the qualities are the attribute of substances, and the qualities are the ones that are open to the senses. Qualities are attributes of substances. When you have a substance, characteristics that is attributed to that substance is called quality. I hope you understand. When you have a man as a substance, what are the quality of that man? He's tall, he's handsome, he looks beautiful, he has a shape, a color, a texture, and all that. But when you are now talking of that substance, that is the existence of such person, humanity, the humanity of such person. That is when you are talking about substance. Now, after we have discussed those two, now I will be asking these questions. I need your contribution on what do you think is now actually the difference between epistemology and metaphysics? What now do you think actually, do they have anything in common? Are they different? If they are different, what makes this difference? If they have things in common, what makes them common? So I'll be asking you to unmute yourself so that you can answer this question. All right. You can raise up your hand if you want to try this. All right, I have Temilola. Please unmute yourself and speak. Temilola. Temilola, you can unmute yourself and speak. All right, Ebere Okereke, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Thank you, sir. The idealists believe that everything stems from the realm of the spirit, from the realm of the mind, and from the realm of ideas. While that of materialists believe in matter, what can be seen. If it cannot be seen, if it cannot be explained, then they don't believe it. But the two of them, I think they have a meeting point, because whatever originates in the mind or an idea, it's also substantiated in the matter, which is the materialism. So I think the two of them somehow are dependent on it. That idea, when put into action, becomes a matter.
All right, thank you for your contribution, but we are trying to compare and contrast epistemology and metaphysics. So if you can talk in that line, the definitions can guide us, epistemology and metaphysics.
Okay, epistemology, as we have been told, is the study of knowledge. And that of metaphysics is the study of nature, the things that we can see.
All right, thank you so
That's
much.
what I can say.
No problem,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you so much. All right, Josephine Agege. Unmute yourself and speak.
Thank you, sir. Epistemology is the study of the science of knowledge.
Okay.
While metaphysics is the study of the world beyond the physics or nature.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. I want to put it in this way. One is inquiry into nature of things. One is inquiry into how we know about them. So if I may ask, I want to reframe the question now. Which one is inquiry into nature of things and which one is how we know about them?
Metaphysics.
Metaphysics is which is what?
It's inquiry into the nature of things.
Okay.
Why epistemology is how we know it.
How we know it. Excellent. Excellent. That's what I'm trying to, that's the answer that I'm looking for. Does anybody have any contrary view to what she has said? You agree. All right. No. All right. All right. All right. That's beautiful. Now, let me give you an example to explain this. Let's talk about temperature. Temperature, for example. Let me put it as a question. Let me put it as a question. How can you explain temperature in area of metaphysics and temperature in area of epistemology? Does anybody want to try? All right, Paul Williams, do you want to try? You can unmute yourself and speak.
Yes, sir. Epistemology. Yeah, sir. Epistemology. What be? Why in metaphysics a look at what the temperature is at the time that it.
I did not get you. Your network is going off and on. Can you come again?
Are you with me, sir? Yes, sir. I say here, look at what the temperature is supposed to be. That is the ideal temperature.
All right.
And how it has to be. Why metaphysics look at that time, how it was taken at that time, the result that that it presents.
Okay.
At that time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution. Another person who want to try? Miriam Abubakar, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
So, but from what I heard is the theology is the one that is looking on how the temperature is. Hello?
I'm hearing you. Go ahead, please.
Hello, I can't hear you, sir.
Please go ahead. I can hear you loud and clear. Lydia Itodo, you can go ahead. Unmute yourself and go ahead.
Okay, good, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Temperature epistemology. Say is knowledge and the knowing the difference between the deviating from the or from the deviating from the normal body temperature, actual normal temperature, that is the knowledge.
Okay.
Why that metaphysics? That's pathophysiology, getting to know what really went. Getting how the body temperature increases, what caused it, trying to find out the in total. I feel so.
Thank you for that contribution.
You're welcome, sir.
All right, Olawumi Ibitayo, you can unmute yourself and speak.
If we said temperature established at that particular we can say the particular time of existence of the environment. That's all I know, sir.
All right. Ridwan Alimat Abimbola, you can unmute yourself and speak. All right, go ahead, please. I'm hearing you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon,
sir. Yes, sir. Temperature according to epistemology.
Okay.
Epistemology. As well.
Epistemology.
Is it epistemology? Yes. Epistemology. That someone has the knowledge of normal temperature. That is when someone knows the knowledge of normal temperature. And the other one, metaphysiology, it is well feel that okay, we have a sun now that is I'm talking about the
is metaphysics,
the nature now that
not metaphysiology.
Metaphysics.
Okay.
Yes, that we all know that there is sun now. We all know that the temperature is more at the normal nature, that it is more higher.
Mm-hmm.
So I can say that one is it is due to and is more due to nature, and that's all.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Right. You want to try? Okay. I was Susie Rachel. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, according to epistemology, what temperature is all about is the study of the temperature. We want to know the difference between normal and abnormal temperature. The study we have, the knowledge we have about temperature in the class.
Okay.
For total knowledge of temperature.
So that's metaphysics. Okay. Out of epistemology.
Epistemology. No, that is epistemology that I discussed. It's the study of knowledge for us to know what is normal from what is abnormal. But in metaphysics, like a patient that is brought to you is having temperature of 39. That is having abnormal temperature. It's physical, is what we are seeing, the reality at that point. Or a patient is having a lower temperature, 35. That's the reality. That this is what we're seeing in the temperature of this particular patient. I don't know if I'm right, sir.
All right. We will sort that whether you are right or wrong. We'll sort it later. All right, Akadiola Olua, go ahead. Unmute yourself and speak.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Metaphysics under temperature under metaphysics.
All right.
It's like a data that is passing to you, like experience they pass to you that you experience for yourself, what you experience for yourself. But the epistemology is something they pass to you, that this is how it will look like, or when it happens, this is how it's going to take place. That's why I understand, sir.
All right, no problem. Perpetua Omoebe. Perpetua Omoebe. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So epistemology,
okay,
it has to do with the knowledge you have on what temperature is.
Okay.
Then for metaphysics, this has to do with the factors that affect other factors. that has to do with the factors that affect temperature. That's knowing what causes the increase in temperature or decrease in temperature. The epistemology just has to do with the knowledge you have on it, on
All
temperature.
right.
That's all.
All right, thank you. Blessing Nika, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay, concerning about temperature in relation to epistemology and metaphysics. I would say about epistemology, which involves knowledge, the study of knowledge. It has to do with our prior knowledge about temperature, the normal and abnormal, and the thermoregulating center functions. While in metaphysics, with regards to temperature, he has to look into the nature, what could have been the cause, either a change of temperature, either the increase or decrease of the temperature.
All right, all right. No problem. I see a lot of us still raise up our hands. We want to try, but let's stop it here. Let me give you my own answer. Now, when you are talking about epistemology, you are talking about knowledge. How do you know temperature of a thing? How do you know temperature, what temperature it is? How do you know the reading? You are talking about thermometer. It is what gives you knowledge of the reading of temperature. If you don't have thermometer, what do you want to read? How do you want to know the temperature readings? When we are talking about metaphysics, we are now talking about reaction that cause such temperature change. In Earth's perspective, you are talking about, say, the person is having malaria, metaphysics, you are going deeper. When you go to a person that is in material science or engineering, you talk about molecular kinetic energy, change in heat. I hope you understand. The molecular reaction, that is what led to increase in temperature. That is the nature of it. I hope you have a better perspective now. So on that note, I don't know if any of us have questions that we can try and sort out now. So if you have questions, you can raise up your hand so that we entertain it in the next 5 minutes before we end the class. All right. Lydia Itodo, unmute yourself and speak.
Please, sir, can you come again on what you just explained just now on the epistemology, temperature, and then the...
All right. We make temperature our point of reference to discuss about epistemology and metaphysics. Epistemology is talking about knowledge. How do you know temperature? You cannot know temperature if you are not able to read it. What will you use to read it? You will use thermometer. It is the thermometer that now give you knowledge of temperature. Epistemology. Metaphysics is talking about nature of that temperature. What caused that temperature? That means there is a molecular reaction. There is something that is causing the temperature to increase. Yeah, if you are a nurse, you'll be talking about sickness, maybe malaria, fever, typhoid, and all that. That is the metaphysical side of that temperature, beyond the temperature you are seeing. Epistemology side is the knowledge. I want to know your temperature. I hope you understand now.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Fumilayo Adams, go ahead with your question. I can hear you, speak up.
Yeah, what take me meal?
Don't be afraid, speak up.
Very much. I just want to know the difference, but I've gotten it.
All right. Lawal Tawakali too.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Sorry, good
morning.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the wonderful lecture, sir. Sir, please, I don't know if you can cite another example so that I can get the full explanation of this epistemology and metaphysics, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Another example. I'm thinking of another example. That one just came at the tip of my hands. All right, maybe we should talk about pressure. Will you understand pressure? Okay, let's look at another thing. All right, let's use blood pressure.
Okay,
now,
sir.
When we are talking about blood pressure, how will you know the blood pressure of a patient? You want to know, that is the epistemology side, knowledge. How will you know? I'm asking you a question. What do you use to measure?
Okay, sir. Hello?
I can hear you.
We use speak to measure.
Speak.
You use speak. So
Yes,
that speak,
and stethoscope.
that speak give you the knowledge. Now,
Yes.
what causes blood pressure?
Old age.
Old
Maybe as a
age?
result of old age.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Maybe if the patient. Sir, we have hereditary.
Hereditary. That is metaphysics. Do you now understand it?
Yes.
Do you now understand it? The
Yes,
speak
sir. Yes,
give
sir.
you the knowledge. That is the epistemology. Then you are
Yes.
now looking beyond that knowledge. You want to know what actually causes it to existence. What brings it to being? Then you are now considering old age, hereditary, and all that. I hope that solves the problem. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Oluwaseun Adedeji.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Sir, please, I want to ask, what are the similarities between epistemology and metaphysics, sir?
Similarities. There is no similarities. You know, it's just that people tend to mix it together. That is why I said epistemology versus metaphysics. One is trying to have knowledge of it, while one is trying to know what actually caused it to happen. Do you understand? So
yes, sir.
That is that.
Thank you.
Abubakar Danjuma Abdul.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for the wonderful lecture. I really enjoyed the lecture. I just want to shed more light on the example you just gave on temperature and blood pressure.
All right.
So, epistemology, in my own understanding, that's the knowledge you have about that's the knowledge you have about the temperature and the blood pressure. While talking about metaphysics, that means the factors that causes the temperature and the blood pressure to change.
Yes.
For example, now to give example, and then the blood pressure. If we talk about, say, the peripheral resistance of the veins when somebody is old, or when somebody is old and releases elasticity of blood vessels. So those causes, those things that cause the blood pressure to rise or go, or they are the metaphysics.
Yes. Epistemology is just that we're trying to understand that thing. So what will make you understand it? That is epistemology. Why metaphysics is what now caused that thing to happen.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much. Chiamaka.
Sir, thank you for that wonderful lecture. Please, sir, can you expatiate more, or can you give us up to 5 difference between epistemology and metaphysics, apart from the ones you have explained? For example, if you are asking an exam hall, give up to 5 or 10 different between them.
Okay. Are you afraid that I will list a lot of example and ask you to differentiate an example? You know, the example is just for you to get the concept. I hope you understand. I didn't come to class with much example, and I wouldn't like to confuse you. Let's focus on the two that we just explained. Temperature. How do you have knowledge of temperature? How do you measure temperature? Simply put, you can measure temperature by thermometer. That will give you the knowledge, the epistemology. Metaphysics, you want to know more. What actually causes it? You see this thing, you can relate to any disease you are treating in your hospital. How will you know that disease? I hope you understand. That is the knowledge side. The metaphysics side is trying to know what caused that disease. I hope you understand now. I hope you understand now.
Yes.
So now you talk about hypertension. How do you measure hypertension? That is the knowledge side. Metaphysics side, what causes that hypertension? You can think of any disease in that line. So that will give you a better grasp of it. So
I
go
have
ahead.
a question.
All right.
Yes, sir. You said there's no similarity between epistemology and metaphysics. There is.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, because when we talk of epistemology, we are talking of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Then talk of metaphysics, we are not talking of the reality.
All right. Somebody is disturbing us. So. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, yeah, go on, go ahead. You see, the idea is when you are talking, like, what do they share in common? What they both focus on different.
Knowledge. Knowledge. Yes.
Calm down.
Both of them makes use of knowledge.
No, calm down.
Both
calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
Right, sir.
Calm down. Are you settled? All right. So listen to me. Epistemology is trying to know something. Metaphysics is inquiring into why. For example, you said there is change in temperature. How do you know there is change in temperature? That is the question epistemology will ask. I hope you understand. The question metaphysics we ask is that what caused this temperature to rise? Do you understand? You can see that the question they are asking is different.
But all of them are still centered and target to knowledge.
Madam, it's better you understand what I'm trying to give you now, so that you won't work against yourself. I hope you understand. The question they are trying to ask is different from each other. I hope you understand. Just focus your attention on the question epistemology is trying to ask and metaphysics is trying to ask. So that will give you a better understanding. So I think we have exceeded our time. So on this note, we are going to end this class for today. I won't be able to entertain more questions. I see your hand, Gracious. I see your hand, Ekezie, Agatha, Ibekwe, Princess. I can see your hand also, but please, we'll be taking these questions next week because some other people are having better. So a quiz is available for you on the LMS. Please make sure you connect them. You are welcome. All right.
On season 3. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of the day.
Enjoy your day. Enjoy your lecture.
Thank you, sir.